Hey guys, how you doing? So I have to confess, it's very hard to follow well after his presentation, so I will do my best to keep you entertained. So, John Shehata, I'm the head of SEO and social media for ABC News, and recently I manage also ABC Family, and once a year Oscars. So today I'm gonna walk you through what can you do, how can you do more with less, right? So you work in a big mega company, you have millions of pages, you have dozens of departments, you have hundreds of writers, right? And you have an SEO team of one, sometimes two. So how can you handle that, right? At ABC News, for example, we're only 2 people that were doing the work, right? So I'm going to talk about 4 things today. How to build an SEO roadmap once you get into a big mega company or enterprise level. How can you do an SEO process? How you select your SEO tools, the philosophy of selecting SEO tools, and I'm going to talk about 17 different tactics that help you succeed at enterprise level. Okay, so roadmap is the most important thing, because if you don't have a roadmap to navigate you through all the different things that you need to do and all the different units that you need to work with, you're going to fail immediately. So this is my roadmap. You can adapt it, you can do your own thing, but I'm going to walk you through my own roadmap. For the last 8 years, I have been fortunate enough to work mainly with big companies. So from Condé Nast to BBC News to Disney, ADT, Consumer Reports, AutoNation, Sony. So I had to have a roadmap to work with. So my roadmap is 6 phases, as you see here. It starts with discovery, inform, quick wins, big wins, support, report, and analysis. And the discover phase, okay, you just joined the company, you're trying to understand what's going on. You need to understand certain things about the company you're working with. So here, for example, what are the main objectives of the company? This is a video first kind of a company. They care about the revenue. They don't care much about the revenue. They mainly care about the subscriptions. Whatever the objectives of your company you have, it's very important for you to get your job done, to understand these kind of objectives. You need to know the teams, right, and the main stakeholders within the company. Because probably you will be working with design, IT, legal, editorial, marketing, PM, technology, analytics, and so on. So you need to get introduced to all these teams and see how they do their thing, and who is the champ there, right? Who is the one guy who loves SEO? You always can spot those people. You meet them, it's like, I love SEO, right? So you know this is your guy. This is the guy who's going to help you later with your work. You need to find the challenges, the opportunities. You need to do extensive site audit. There's many websites, but you can start with the basic ones, right? Make sure you have Google Webmaster Tools. You use Screaming Frog, it's a great tool. If you don't use it, look at your crawl errors and so on. Do your competitive analysis and try to understand from a traffic and search and organic, who are your top 5 or 10 competitors, but at the same time, try to understand from your business unit, who do they consider to be the competitors? Because most of the time, these 2 lists don't match. So you need to understand who you competed with. Understand the PM process, understand the technology, the code, the targeted keyword lists, and start building your baseline report, okay? If you come and see our reports, usually when I first started in the company, I go back 3 years in traffic and break down the traffic by month to month, because I love to see year over year. Month to month I don't care much about month to month, especially if you work in a seasonal company or whatever line of business you're in. But usually year over year gives me a very good indication where this company is going, right? So you build your base report, you have 3 years worth of data there, and you're gonna start build upon that. Okay, so when I mentioned you need to figure out your opportunities and challenges, every site has opportunities. For example, if you work in a big publisher like ABC News, you have a lot of content. That's a plus. We produce a lot of videos. That's a plus, and so on, right? If you work in e-commerce sites, you have a lot of products. But at the same time, you need to know your challenges, right? You work with writers. They take pride in what they write, okay? And it's very hard for them to accept that, to change a headline, as someone mentioned the other session, right? You work in e-commerce sites. You have a lot of products, but product description most of the time are very horrible. Or you have affiliates who copy the same description over their site. So start to evaluate your sites and the issues that you have. Also, you look at your technical challenges, right? You have content overlap, you have inefficient crawling. So you have millions of pages, and you discover that Google, for example, only indexes 10,000 of them, right? Or the crawling is very low. Or the speed of the site, you can go to the crawl index rates at Google Webmaster Tools, and you can see a lot of that information. You are a one-man show. You will be surprised, or probably know that most of the big companies, when they start SEO, they're very skeptic about it, right? So they hire just one guy and say, hey, do it. And if you prove yourself, we might think like to add more people to you. So most of the time you start up with like just you so you need to prioritize and you need to focus. Tech, dev, company, business has other priorities, and always like SEO comes like number 10, and duplicate content on the site and so on. There are a few questions that you need to ask when you join a company, right? And hopefully you can ask these questions even before you take the job. But for example, is there an SEO budget? You'll be surprised that many big companies don't have any budget for SEO. It's like, hey, I want to buy a tool, or I want to use Conductor, or whatever. It's like, oops, we don't have a budget for you. You have to wait for the next year. Do I have dedicated resources that I can work with? Do I need to get legal permission in everything I do? Can I use tools, third-party tools? The bigger the company is, you'll be surprised that you're not allowed to use any tool out there, and they have to sign a lot of agreements for you to use like $10 tool out there in the market. Were there any previous SEO done to the site? And this is very important because a lot of big companies usually they outsource SEO to agency sites or link building, and they promise them everything, and sometimes they actually hurt the site. So you need to go back and track what happened to the site previously. Was there any previous link building? So this is the first step, right? I'm gathering information. Usually that phase takes me about 1 month to 6 weeks to get all the information I need and to speak to all the different people I need to talk to. The second step is inform. We have been hearing the whole day today about the importance of education, about the importance of evangelism, right? 60% of my time on the first year of any big site, I spend just evangelizing, educating. I remember at ABC News, I did about maybe 42 different training sessions on the first year, almost one a week. And each session, almost every session, is different from the one from the other ones because it's tailored, right? So if I'm meeting with the C-level, I don't talk about SEO. I talk about brand visibility, right? Because this is what they want to hear. When I talk to the tech team, I talk to them about like, okay, how we can make the site more efficient, and they always complain about like, oh, crawlers are hurting our site. They're taking our site down, right? So how we can make it more efficient? When I talk to writers, it's like, how can I get more eyes to read your stuff, right? I used to work with newspapers before. So we used to take like with subscriptions, how can I increase my subscriptions? So whatever the language they're familiar with, this is the way you talk to you do your training. And you keep evangelizing and you keep repeating, right? Every opportunity, as well mentioned, someone come to you and say, hey, how we can do this? This is a new opportunity for you to educate. So we do all of this, we do training, best practices, guides, usually one sheet, right? People don't have time to read like a whole folder of best practices guides. So we did 10 things you need to do before you publish your next article. And it's one sheet, and we had it in a very nice plastic case that they have on their desks. So this is like a constant reminder. We did a blog and we did a wiki, and on our team, if we get the question twice, we build an FAQ for it, so we can send people over and over there. We do monthly newsletters. What's happening within the SEO team, what's happening out there, very short and concise. We answer emails and so on. Okay, so This is my attempt a few years ago about explaining SEO in very simple terms to a lot of people. How we do on-page optimization, right? This is before Moz came with their fancy stuff a month ago. But this, I have been using this for like many years now. It's like, okay, this is the page, this is all the things that we care about, right? I care about the URL, I care about the title, I care about the headline, I care about the social, and so on. So when we build new products, right, they know that these are the 5, 6 things that we need to talk about. Project management process, and I actually have a great slide later I built after many years about 6 different things that you need to be integrated in at a project or a product cycle. Because if you're not there, it will hurt you later. So, being a part of making sure you're part of the product / project management process is extremely important. And when you go there at any company, make sure to see if there is like some kind of project management or product managers that you can meet with and start building this process together. Okay, so thanks. Okay, so you did your discovery phase. You keep on evangelizing, right? Now you need to gain trust as soon as possible, right? If you're in a company for like 6 months and you didn't produce results, you're in big trouble, right? And you know the bigger the site is going to take you actually longer to do stuff because of so many other challenges. So what are the quick wins that you can get within a month or so that you can gain trust from the C-level, from your boss, from the editorial team, and so on, that can help you start on bigger project later on? So these are a few things, quick things that you can do. You can look at duplicate content and ways that you can do canonical URLs. You can do all the 302 redirects and change them to 301 redirects. You make sure you look at the TXT file, because most of the time you will be surprised that someone at the IT department decided to block a certain section of the site because it gets a lot of traffic. Seriously, and I see it a lot, right? And there is a website, actually a great site called changedetection.com. It's free. So you put the TXT file URL there, and it emails you if there are any changes happening there. Because most of the time they change the file without letting you know, so you can keep track of what's going on, so you'll be on top of it, right? You crawl errors and so on. So this is the site level. Then you can look at the template, because if you focus on a specific keyword now or a specific page, you don't have that luxury yet, right? So you want to fix one thing that can affect thousands of pages. So you fix your templates first. Okay, look at my template. Do I have my H1s? Are the page titles in the right formats? Many companies, for example, start with the brand name first and push everything later. Can we do this quick fix that will fix 10,000 pages? Right? So these are the quick changes that you can do, and immediately you can see the results. Inline linking, pagination, and so on. And then you go deeper to the top 5 money terms. These are the terms that make money for the company, or can potentially make money for the company. So you approach these 5, 10 terms, you focus on your 10 paid keywords. You can work with the PPC team and say, hey, what are the most expensive terms that you guys pay for and work for you? And then maybe try to optimize for those. And you build a good relationship, and maybe later they lend you some money to go buy yourself a tool or something. Second page ranking. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about this later, but this is a low-hanging fruit, right? So if you can take a keyword, I think it's here, yeah. So if you can take a keyword from your second page that ranks second on Google, on the second page, and you move it to the first page, you double the traffic for that term, right? Because no one goes to the second page. And it's a couple of internal links, couple of affiliate links, couple of vendor links to that page, and it easily can rank in page 2. So this is something very easy that you can do for a couple of the keywords, and you can see the traffic immediately. If you double the volume for this one term, you can do it for 10 and so on. You can also look at your low CTR ranking terms. So for example, if you go to Google Webmaster Tools and look at position 1, and you can export everything in Excel and you do your filters, but you look at position 1 and all the keywords that has like more than 10,000 impressions. And okay, you should, if you're in position 1, you should probably get at least 30% CTR, right? Click-through rate. But if you're not getting 30%, you're getting 4, for example, there is a problem there. You can easily fix it because most of the time, the title doesn't make any sense. Or the description is horrible. Or, I see this a lot of times, it's an old site that they left and now, or an old section of the site that they upgraded and left this old page that no one goes there. So you can change these quick things and you can immediately get from 4% to like 30, 35% by just fixing the page. So you did the quick wins, you show value, right? People trust what you do, you show results, and then you can approach bigger projects. So there's big projects that you can work. These are few samples or few examples that you can do. You need to focus on rich media optimization, videos, photos, galleries. Mobile SEO is extremely important, and I'm going to talk later about this. Content vertical optimization. So for example, let's say you have travel, health, and so on. Approach each vertical individually and optimize that vertical and working with editors on that vertical. Or if you have verticals within the same category. So you have recipes, but then you have chicken, beef, and so on. And you have people managing that. You can work with different verticals this way. Rich snippets is extremely important. And schema.org, you have absolutely to have that on your site. It means a lot now in Google search. Crawl efficiency, syndication, social media, and so on. Then the fifth phase is, and this is an ongoing thing, right? Support. Answer emails, recommendations, provide SEO recommendations for new projects, for trending projects, for seasonal projects. You keep doing this. New designs, new tech projects, and so on. Now, my final phase, which is you need to report and analyze what happened for a specific project or a specific site, right? It's all about telling the story. Sending numbers in an email doesn't make any sense. No one wants to read numbers, right? People want to read the story. So you need to tell them exactly what happened with that optimization project. So usually I start all my reports with like 3 or 4 lines that summarize everything else. Because most of the people don't read the whole email. So at least I'm sure that they read the executive summary in the beginning. We do daily reports and monthly reports, depends on the need. So, for example, all our writers, I think Seth mentioned it this morning, is like, I want them to be encouraged that their work actually provide results, their SEO, right? So we send indirectly every day an email saying, here are the top 10 writers, here are the top 10 stories driving traffic from search, from social, and from other, and overall, right? So this way, make them like indirectly, right? Want to be recognized in these emails. You do year-over-year seasonal reports and so on. You can do reports by author, by content, by vertical. So there's different ways that you can do your reports. Just don't overdo it. And reports are extremely important because you're promoting your work. No one knows about your work if you don't tell people that this is what's happening. Believe me, you are the marketer for your work, right? Sometimes we forget to market our work. It's very important in a big organization that you actually market your work and you tell other people in a soft, way that this is what has been happening with SEO. Okay, so this is one screenshot for all the things I said, and it's going to be available, so you can print it, you can have it. Okay. So this is the SEO process. So I worked on this few years actually, okay? How can I integrate SEO in all the important places at a product cycle, right? So we have a new product, we have a new project, where can we fit SEO? So if you think of a project, discovery is more like requirement gathering, right? Okay, you need to be there. And you need to ask questions like, guys, do you expect that this idea will drive traffic? Where do you want the traffic to come from? For example, search cannot give you that idea because you're going to build the whole microsite in Ajax. So I'm telling you ahead of time, this is not an SEO project, right? They need to know this at the beginning, right? So I'm not going to go through the SEO process, but usually it's at the requirement gathering, then and the design, the 3 labels, right? The placement of the content, the labels, the links, and then before it gets into development, then at the QA process, and then when it goes to live. So these are the different phases when a product is get launched. Okay, tools. So I'm not going to talk about tools, like which tools, but the philosophy of selecting tools when you work in a big company is very important. Less is more. Less is more. So as an SEO, and we see an article, 52 tools that can help you, right? And we just go there and test every single tool, and we add them to our bookmarks, and then the next day we'll forget about them and we use something else and so on, right? You need to be focused. Me personally, these are the tools that I use. I use Excel, I use Moz, I use SEO Book, I use Screaming Frog, Google and Bing Webmaster Tools, Google Analytics, and Omniture and Conductor. And I'm very focused. I know exactly what I want to do for each of these tools. Okay, so this is I think the important part of the presentation. These are different tactics that I acquired through the years that can help me do my job better in big organizations. So call them the 17 tactics that can help you succeed in enterprise SEO. 1, if you don't have technical skills, I'm not sure who mentioned this morning, but you are at this disadvantage, okay? I was lucky enough to actually get computer science degree, and I used to do Java development for like desktop application and stuff, and it helped me a lot to understand. It helps you tremendously to understand the tech language, right? So you can actually have a meaningful conversation with the tech and development teams. So you need to understand HTML, you need to understand what schema.org, you need to understand the different tags that go into a head, you need to understand how you do like CSS overlay. You don't need to code it, but you need to understand that it could be done and how it could be done, but you don't need to code it actually. You need to have good Excel skills. I'm not saying you're going to be like a ninja, Excel ninja, right? But what I'm saying is you need to understand how to do pivot tables. You need to understand how to do filters and work with that and stuff. Because whatever tool you use out there, it has limitations. I believe Excel has no limitations. You can do wonders with Excel. And last, you need to understand analytics. Now, you work in a big company, right? And you tell the analytics team, hey, I need a report and how Project X did over the last 6 months. Sure, we'll get to it. And then you wait and you wait and you wait, and who knows how you're going to get it and when you're going to get it. Now, you need to go in Omniture. You need to understand Omniture. You need to understand the different dimensions, the different metrics, how to get data. You need to understand how Omniture, for example, works with Excel, report builder, and so on. Because you need to build your reports and be available right away. Because it's all about showing value. Because when you show value back to the company, that actually what you do works with the SEO stuff, then they trust you and then they allow more and bigger projects. So analytics is a very vital piece of the puzzle here. Okay, so this is something, for example, I was playing around and I said, okay, I want to get all the Google Webmaster Tools search queries, and then I'm going to have all the Google keywords search volume, and then I'm going to have all my traffic and all the rankings, and put them all in one Excel sheet and understand a few things. And I played around with it, so I discovered, for example, CTR that is low, ranking that is high but not driving any traffic, and so on. So with Excel, you can combine data from different sources and start playing around and doing filters and pivot tables to drive meaningful information. Okay, 2. You need to understand how to sell your projects, right? Take every opportunity you have to sell your projects. If it's in an email, if it's in the hallway, if it's at lunch, right? Indirectly, right? So we do this all the time, right? And this is what makes SEO top of mind for a lot of our many units at ABC News and Disney, right? Because we keep talking about them indirectly, right? Like, we don't tell them, hey, this is what we're doing, but like, oh, your content that you guys did were great. And do you know that it was the top story yesterday? Oh, awesome. I didn't know that, right? Or the project that the tech team did, and this is what's happening with that project. So keep selling your content. Now, it's very important to align your goals with the company goals. So a lot of times we go to a big company, right, and we have this big, massive project that we want to do. And no one wants to sponsor the project. Usually, SEO team is like the orphan child. Should we put them in marketing? Should we put them in technology? Should we put them in IT? And so on, right? So your team is somewhere, one of these departments, right? And then you need a sponsor. Someone say, okay, yeah, this is a great project. We really need to push this and become a top priority. So figure out what's your company goals and then align your projects or pieces of projects along these goals. So for example, let's say the company is focusing on highlighting the personalities in the company. Like ABC News, we want to highlight the anchors and stuff. Okay, I want to build authorship markup into the site. You know what? We need author pages on our sites. Okay, great. So we're going to build an authorship that highlights every personality, but then I'm working with development as a part of the requirement gathering to have rel equals author and link it to their Google Plus and so on. So I'm aligning my project to whatever project they're working on. They say, for example, video is number 1. Okay, how we can do video optimization at that minute when they are changing players from player A to another video player, and so on. So you need to understand what projects are going on, what projects that have the high priority in the company, and then figure out which of your projects can actually fit in these projects. Show value. So we keep speaking about show value. This is like a missed opportunity. I don't know if you ever saw it, Bill Hunt. You can see like, hey guys, these are the different keywords that we're not ranking for. And if we rank for, like let's say average 5 or number 4, this is the additional traffic that we would get. Now, based on our numbers now, this will yield X amount of dollars. Because people need, it depends on the different companies, but people need to understand that this project at the end will show value and will show, will generate traffic and money. Okay, when I first joined my first big company, mega company, right? So I did the discovery phase, and then I came back with like a project that is almost like 60 pages, and people are like laughing at me, right? It's like, why I can't just get my project now? No one wants to do gigantic projects. Okay, so take your big projects and break it down into smaller projects, 5, 10 projects, and so on. This is one thing to get your projects done. The other thing, take tasks, simple tasks of the projects, and find projects that are currently going on, and align these tasks and include them into the requirements for these projects. Because most of the time you can get big projects into the company because there is other important stuff always gets prioritized on top of SEO. This is very important, right? Your platform is not just the desktop. So in a very recent study, about 4 or 5 months ago, it shows that 80% of all American adults check their cell phones within 15 minutes of waking up. So that's a huge number, right? So who knows? Probably this will happen very soon. In 2 years from now, mobile traffic will exceed desktop traffic. So the question, are you ready for mobile traffic? You can't just keep putting it away, right? It's like, okay, I will get to it later after I do all these important things. You have to work on your mobile strategy now. And when you work on your mobile strategy, so this is something, a recent project that we did, and we saw 100% increase. We did some simple mobile optimization, alternate tags, canonical tags, mobile XML site maps, and so on. And in the near future, we're doing responsive design, right? So these kind of things, it has to be a part of your strategy. When you talk about mobile, you talk about social, right? So if you see your amateur numbers and the traffic share for desktop versus the traffic share for like mobile sites, you will see, for example, just giving numbers here, that your desktop social traffic sends like 4%. In mobile, it sends over 20%. So mobile and social, they go hand in hand. If you're in a bus or taking the train, right, and just like look at the people, what they're doing on their cell phones, either they're playing Candy Crush or Facebook probably. I mean, don't be weird, like, but just like, right? look at what they're doing, right? Most of the people are now on social media, right? So you have to expand, we have to evolve our roles, right? Social media is important to SEO, and you need to get into that field. So for example, Google Plus is one of the responsibilities for our SEO team. They actually work in Google Plus. And in order to work in Google Plus, they have to understand engagement, and how to increase engagement, and how to talk to mass people, which stories that work, which stories that don't work, and so on. So social mobile is the natural extension of our job. Tech teams, right? So they could be your best friends, and you could be the worst challenge in your life. If you don't know how to work with the tech teams, you will never ever get anything done. So you have to be nice to them, but at the same time, be able to speak their language and push back when it's appropriate, right? It's like, oh, this cannot be done. No, actually it can be done, and this is how it could be done. If there is a developer day, send them a card, a postal card or something, or invite them for coffee, right? But you need to work. You need to get your relationship checked when it comes to the dev team. This is the most important unit in the company. Never tell a tech guy, this is too easy. Why you guys can't do it? Never say that word, right? Everything's too easy, right? Now, because you have to respect the work that they do. Actually, working with any unit in your company, you have to respect that they take hours thinking about how to do it the right way. And for them, you're just another hurdle, right? So you have to prove that you are not that. You're actually helping them with their work. I never ask, is it doable? Yes, everything is doable, but yeah. So don't do that. You need to build relationships, right? Don't be that SEO guy who sits on the basement, crunching keywords, sending emails, not social enough. Every once in a while, don't send an email and walk over to someone and have a conversation. This is how you build relationships. And I'm not talking about being social, but it's very important in what we do. Stop long emails. No one reads them. Period, right? Me and the analytics guy in a previous job, we sat down and we did this test, right? So we used to send this monthly report that was like 20 pages about everything that happened during this month. And then we said, okay, do actually people read them? Because people keep asking for this report. So we wrote about almost the last paragraph. If you read this paragraph, contact us and we'll give you $50 gift card. No one called us. So if you can make your email shorter and to the point and interesting, that's much, much more important than in-depth analysis, right? Have them ready, but if you're going to do in-depth analysis of an email, it has to be followed by a meeting. Don't do in-depth analysis if there is no meeting. That's my own opinion. Stop whatever doesn't provide value. Every week we have to do these 10 things, right? We have to send these 10 reports, do this keyword ranking stuff, and so on. If it doesn't provide value, if no one cares about it, you shouldn't care about it as well. So whatever doesn't provide value, remember, it's all about focus, doing more with less. There's a lot of meetings. If you think about what we do, sometimes 60% of our time are in meetings that we don't have to be in. Right? So if there's a meeting that you shouldn't be in, or you can't be in, or you don't provide any value, just stop going. Okay, so choose your battles wisely, right? There's 100 different things that you need to do for this upcoming project, right? And they said, okay, we can do this, we can do this, we can fix the titles, but unfortunately we cannot have one H1. Our site built to have two H1s. It's like, this is not a battle worth fighting. It's like, okay, no problem. Let's have two H1s, right? So choose your battle wisely. Which ones that you should absolutely push back, and which ones that say, hey, let's do it in the next redesign or phase 2, right? So it's extremely important. Okay, this is a very important one. You're a small team. You need to find hidden resources. What other units can help you? So for example, right? Are there a sister company that they have access to tools that you don't have, right? So for example, we're at ABC News, Disney. Hey guys, are you using this tool? Yes, we have access to it. Can we use it, right? Talk to the finance or the business team or the marketing team. Hey, I can save you $20,000. Would you like me to help? Oh, absolutely. Okay, but it will cost us about $5,000 to do it. Here are the top 10 keywords. This is how we do it, and we're going to save you $20,000. They will be so happy that you saved them that money. Talents within other departments. Remember when I said find the SEO champ in every department? You find that guy and you empower them, and they become a resource for you. Hey, I need help on this and that. I need help on how to approach writers in that specific way. He will actually, this happened to me, he will teach you what is the lingo used with newspaper writers to convince them to do it that right way. Okay, so find hidden resources is very important. Link building is one of the examples, right? You have a lot of sister companies, you have a lot of vendors, you have a lot of affiliates you're working with, you have a lot of sponsorship. You heard Will mentioning that. You have a lot of contracts. You work with your legal team that any contract for any syndication project or deal, it has to have like links back to the original article and so on. So there's a lot of hidden resources within the company. You just need to find them. So you probably heard more and more about Center of Excellence, right? So I like to call them the SEO ambassadors, right? Who are the champs in every unit, I keep mentioning this, that you can highlight so other people in the same unit look up to and ask, right? So for example, we cannot, as two persons team, we cannot be the first line of defense for every single project and every single article, right? So we empower people, right? We work with people who love SEO and help them and highlight them in emails and reports and so on. So other people in the same unit go to those people and ask, how did you get your article to rank so well, right? And then actually these people become the first line of defense. In the tech team, you find someone who loves SEO and you help them and you get the project and you highlight them. And then the next time they work on a project, hey guys, I remember the SEO team said that doing it this way can really hurt us. Let's check with them. So they are the first line of defense. So it's very important. Highlighting the champ, I mentioned this through reports and so on. You can do badges. You can do a contest once every 3 months or so. Give gift cards, Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts. I don't discriminate. So whatever you do, right? Okay, so 13. This is important, right? If you are moving from a small shop or a small agency where you have to wear so many different hats, and then you move to a big company, you are so eager to do it yourself, right? Hey, they're using WordPress. I know WordPress by heart. I'm just gonna go in, change the code a little bit, add this plugin, and it will work. I don't need to go to the dev team. I don't need to go to the legal team. It's just gonna take me a couple of hours and I'm done. Never do that. It will hurt you so badly because if something bad goes down or someone discovers you did something, you can destroy the whole trust you built for SEO. So follow the system, follow the process, and get your process done the right way. We are consultants and we give recommendations. I believe personally that we are not implementers when it comes to big sites and big clients. Content. Develop a content marketing strategy. If you just the SEO guy who just sends keywords, you will never grow in your position. And people will never see you more than an SEO guy who develops or delivers keywords. You have to come with content ideas, right? So for example, hey, whatever the business you're working on, but we know that prom dresses, people search for prom dresses around November, right? So let's develop content and start the cycle from there. And then we know that after May, all what the people search for is prom photos. So by understanding the cycle of content, right? We know, for example, that people always search for movies around Friday afternoon, right? So you know that the search behavior, and you start developing content around it, then you help other teams to succeed, right? If you work with the health team, hey guys, these are the most important health topics that the people search for, or the travel, or any kind of evergreen content. product reviews, evergreen content, best worst lists, trending topics, WebMD once. There was a government shutdown 2013, it was a trending term. And then they wrote an article about how government shutdown 2013 can affect your health. And it was ranking and drove a lot of traffic to them. So attaching your content to what's trending out there usually see 60% increase in buzz around your brand. And it's the same concept in social. Working with others. So this is our slogan, this is our motto, right? We make the emphasis on how SEO will help other teams to succeed. It's never about us, right? Like this morning, someone mentioned there's no I in SEO, and this is what we truly believe in. When we approach any team, when we approach any individual, when we approach any writer, our main goal is how to make that person, that team succeed. And believe it, when they succeed, you succeeded. And they become your best ally later on. So this is the way we think about working with other teams. Make a big deal of giving public acknowledgement of their vital contribution. Respect the hard work these folks have to do that has nothing to do with your SEO needs. Less is more. So the more you focus, like Will mentioned a lot of things today, right? And it's all about like focusing, right? So the more you focus in your tasks, in your projects, in your recommendations, don't give like 100 tasks that you need to change in one project. Focus on the most important things that they can get done, right? Don't use 100 different tools. Focus 5 tools, necessary tools that you use. So the more you can do much more with much less. Okay, so someone used that same graphic, but here is like we need to develop, we need to evolve, right? So every year, right, some site comes like SEO dead, BuzzFeed, right? SEO dead. It's like, you know, it's all about social today, right? While 50% of the total traffic online is still driven by search. So what's happening here, we are evolving, right? We're no longer this guy who sits in the basement and delivers keywords, right? Now we think about content ideas. Now we think about different marketing channels. Okay, search, social will help SEO. There's SEO signals there, absolutely. Authorship, let's work on it. Mobile, absolutely. So, and you keep developing, right? So we're no longer SEO. We're marketers or content strategists or marketing strategists or audience development, right? So keep thinking bigger and evolve in what you do. And last, this is like, I truly believe in this. In all my career, I was like, be a good person. Be a good person in your work. Be a good person in your personal life. Be approachable. People coming to you, it's like drop everything and try to help them whenever it's possible. Be a good person in a community, right? Choose a community, Twitter, for example. And every day, find people asking questions about SEO. So you search for SEO and a question mark, and you find 100 different questions. Select 2 of them that you can answer quickly in less than a minute, and you get 2 new followers every day, right? Be a good member. Choose a Google group, Google News or something, and help someone every day. Being a good person will absolutely pay off big time in your career and in your personal life. So that's it for me. I hope you liked it, and thank you so much. Do we have time for questions? Sure. Yes.
Could you talk more about rich snippets and schema.org, the importance of that?
Sure, absolutely. So right now, Google is pushing more and more into semantic web and understanding what's the HTML content. So if you see recently in-depth article, it's all driven by schema microformats. So I'm more than happy to explain more about it, so I don't take more time here. But it's becoming more and more important. Google wants to understand what the content actually, the HTML, from recipes to movies to in-depth articles to organization to authorship, everything is run by schema and microformats. Yes?
If there is an organization which starts their web entry and say, we just want to do mobile, nothing else.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the
I'm saying,
question?
if somebody starts a business and they just want to do no desktop operation, they just want to start on mobile operation, will your strategies change?
I saw a lot of companies that started as apps or mobile apps, and the funny part is after a year or so, the same companies start building their desktop sites. I'm not saying mobile apps alone are a bad idea, but I think that desktop support is still, till our day, extremely needed. But there are ways to do it mobile only. And if you look at Instagram, or if you look at This Is News Now, I think there's a couple of sites that are doing it this way. A lot of apps are doing it this way, but I still find them after some time they go back and create their own desktop version, not with the full functionality, but with some functionality. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it for now. We're going to move on because we're running slightly behind, but I'm going to be here all day, so ask him any questions that you have to. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.